live, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, welcome everybody. Today is Monday, December 13th. This is our weekly county commissioner meeting. This time I will please ask everyone to rise and say the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, Dave. Everybody have a chance to look at the agenda. Is there any additions?
No additions for me.
I didn't see anything.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as it stands.
Second.
Moved and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna go right on down our agenda today. Our first item is an action item. These are claims. Order of claims. Casey, come on up. Do you have any questions?
I had a couple questions. Doug, I saw instead of taking the Lake Fork stuff, you took that out of general fund instead of ARPA. You want that out of general?
That's where we had previously been expending that, and Casey and I questioned it, and I felt that it was, if you do believe that it's ARPA-related expenditures, we can take it out of ARPA. I just didn't know if it definitely qualified for ARPA or not.
We were researching, a central sewer system, septic system there for housing. So I don't know. It's not an upgrade, but I just questioned if that could be.
The other two were paid out of that general fund, and so I just paid it out of the same fund, but we can certainly switch it if you want to.
Was it $3,900? Is that what that one was?
And the reason was before is because it was prior to when our budget was. So I don't know. What's your guys' call?
I think, and not only should we pay it out of ARPA, but we should get reimbursed for what we paid out of the reserve. Because I thought that's what we were gonna do it for, was out of ARPA. That's what you could use them for, that and broadband and
Right.
what else, water or something?
Yeah, I do feel like that it was addressing our septic and sewer needs.
I will change the nature
Easily.
of the claim and I will bring it up and have you guys sign it. I obviously don't have it with me right now because I wasn't prepared for that, but no problem at all.
Me? Any more questions for Casey?
One second, I had one more.
Sure.
Okay, Valley County Tax Collector. We have all these little tiny bills. $42, $21.90. What is that?
Elle already asked me.
Oh,
I've never seen that before either, so I wouldn't ask her.
So the properties that the county owns, we pay a small portion of property taxes that are allocated to certain. So we get a tax bill from the treasurers just like everybody else, but it's just small increments because we're only paying for certain parts of
that.
the taxes. So
Interesting.
we don't always pay every year, but
We
we
have
do
a new
pay.
treasurer and she's trying to do it correctly. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's just how the funds are allocated.
That's great.
But yeah, we paid not last year, but we paid the year before, and so it doesn't seem to be a yearly thing, but just
So I'm assuming that goes to all the other districts besides the county, like sewer and
I would assume so also. I didn't
It's-
actually.
school.
It's just the forest, let me pull it up and I can show you guys what it is. Can I see, do you have?
have it.
And the water bill for the annex in McCall, is that included in their rent payment to us? We have to provide that?
If we get reimbursed for it, don't we?
Half.
Half.
Okay.
Oh, let's see, where's treasurers?
I know where it is on the desk, but I didn't bring it up with me. I should have. After Elle asked, I thought, I should bring it up. I didn't.
And then Doug, I did see that the senior center is now hosting lunches again. They have gotten a chef there and they are doing lunches Tuesdays and Thursdays. We have not paid our second contribution to the senior center because they weren't really open.
Right.
So I feel like now that we probably should go ahead and issue that check since, what did he just hit? Uh-oh, he just popped himself a good one too.
On the
Did he
ground.
hit something?
It doesn't look like he hit something, I don't know.
Those potholes.
Who is that?
Is it Scott DeYoung in there? Or is it Mitch? I can't tell.
Might be going a little fast there.
LA County Tax Collector, it just says other expenses.
Yeah, I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to show you.
152.38.
I didn't see
So I
it.
can show you the tax bill. I can go run out of my desk and grab it, and so you can see how it's itemized out.
So what it is, it's the forest assessment on all of them. We have to pay that. And I would defer to the treasurer's office. It's a special assessment, but it's Forest Practice Act, forest assessment.
Oh, okay, for the Forest Practice Act.
I would defer to the assessor.
We're paying the Forest Service?
Well, it's
No.
for fire, it's for fire protection.
Yeah,
And properties that are prone to, not prone, but could have fires, it's billed by SIPA.
Okay,
Yep.
They're the ones that bill it.
And
Okay.
we do not have the ability not to pay it. So
that makes sense.
that's,
it's really what keeps SIPA going. It's, they're a big part of their budget.
If there were a fire that happened across county property, SIPA would fight it, and so we need to pay to fund them for fire protection.
That makes sense.
that's what it is.
Hey, any more questions for Casey? Entertain a motion to pay the claims, border claims, and no junior college this time.
I move that we pay the claims, board order claims.
I'll second that.
Moved and second, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
You have a good weekend.
I did.
Got my snowblower
It's just
working.
snow.
And Doug, this one for the furniture came out of
911
their,
trust?
their trust, okay?
correct.
Just wanna make sure we're keeping
Oh my God, I love
track of that.
3 hours. These little kids that were 3 and 4 years old standing up there looking at the crowd going, what am I doing here right now?
And then you
I
get the
couldn't
one
get off
character
the
that's
stage. Oh,
just
oh yeah.
over the top.
Oh, there was this little boy. I could have taken him home. He was so adorable.
We all good?
There you go.
And I will bring up that other Florida claim as soon as I switch it to the ARPA for you guys to sign.
Hey, thanks, Casey.
Thank you.
Have a great day. We're gonna go on down our agenda. Our next is elected officials report, and the first victim up is June. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, I have the state coming today to assist us, and I'm a little short-staffed in my office still, and it looks like I'm gonna be short-staffed for a while, so we will get the rollout, we will get it done. And we're gonna try and have a Christmas party on Wednesday, but who knows?
So how long do you think you'll need the state person? Couple of days, 3
They're
days?
gonna be here today and tomorrow, and I offered lodging, and they said, no, that's their job, that's what they do. So that is included in their visit. I have 2 people coming.
Good, that'll catch you up.
How many do you have out right now?
Okay?
Yeah, so-
Any questions for June? Good luck, thanks. Mr. Miller?
Commissioners, good morning.
Good morning, Doug.
It is with a bit bittersweet, but I wanted to let everyone know that Casey, Kaylin Mock, will be transitioning to the treasurer's office. She was selected as the new chief deputy for the treasurer. So that will leave that position open in our office. We will be posting for that position and moving forward. But we would like to congratulate Casey with the new promotion that she will be receiving. I believe that she'll be starting at the middle of January, and the treasurer's office, the treasurer has been gracious to allow us to still have Casey for a while we do some training with the new employee. I anticipate that we will be promoting Rita from the deputy auditor accounts receivable to the senior deputy accounts payable / elections director position. And that would leave that position open. So we'll be working with HR to post the deputy auditor for accounts receivable is the actual position that we will be posting for. So just wanted to make the commissioners fully aware of that.
Congratulations to Rita then too.
Yeah, absolutely. So we will have some transition in our office, but we are accustomed to that, and we will be just moving forward. But again, Casey was a great selection, and we will be supporting her with that in that transition. So there's no hard feelings or anything of that nature, and
Well, it's just great that they didn't quit completely. They're still staying with us.
still staying with us.
Usually what happens. So
Yeah.
awesome.
All county team.
The courts, we have a jury trial scheduled for tomorrow. Just want to make sure everyone is fully aware of that. I believe it's scheduled for a 2-day trial, and we will be prepping, we will be utilizing the commissioner room for the initial greeting of the jurors. But staff and everyone just be fully aware that the parking might be limited tomorrow. And you're planning on being here, so this office we can find you another location.
I've got a good alternative,
Okay.
Doug.
My apologies for that,
No worries.
for shuffling you to another area, but we do have a jury trial scheduled for tomorrow. We did have another jury trial scheduled for the week after, but based on our COVID numbers, we are not able to have that jury trial. It's a little unique that this week we can, but next week we can't. So we will be scheduling that trial for another date. We're still working on the year-end reports, as I've previously been reporting to you. The ones that I need to finalize are the street financial report. Still working with Jeff on that. And then we have the waterways and snowmobile year-end report that I will be completing by the end of the month.
Like, what about the fair board? Do we do any kind of a year-end for them or
We
anything?
don't.
Doug, on the coronavirus, who's making that call? Supreme Court?
That is our administrative judge.
Okay.
Yeah,
Hippler.
that's correct, Judge Hippler. We get a weekly notice if we can proceed with jury trials or not. So we received the notice on Friday that we are unable to proceed with jury trials that were scheduled for the week of the 20th through the 24th. And we did have one scheduled for the 22nd, so that one will be postponed. I think that's all I have at this point in time.
Another question on the fair board. I noticed that cash carryover still has like 14 or 15,000 in there. Will that be sent to them along with the tax collection now, or do they need to request that?
That would be a decision by the commissioners. If you're wanting to provide them with that, then they would make that request to us.
We put that in our budget for that to go to them?
Correct. So
with an approved budget?
we included that in the budget, and if we wanted, this is where we're going to need some clarification of what the commissioners want to do. Do you want to make just the general contribution, or do you want our office to approve all of the claims? We've kind of gone back and forth of the direction on the payments to the Valley County Fair Board.
What do you like, Doug? What would you prefer?
You know, what I'd like is the commissioners to make a formal decision of how the expenditures of the Fair Board should be done. Should it be just a yearly contribution, or do you want more control to approve all of the claims that are submitted? It's just going to be a transition, and they're going to have to be fully aware of what the commissioners want.
So does that include the income that comes in from the fair and the rodeo? All that would go through you as well?
Again, yeah, previously it has not. Previously, all the revenue that's been collected for the Fair Board has just gone into their bank account and has never been a pass-through to the clerk's office.
I would like to set up a work session with their executive board and Casey Carnes, their treasurer, and talk through everything.
Okay.
We need a training. After going to that training last week, they are one that has to follow open meeting laws by statute. And I have to get them to do that. So we are going to have that conversation again. So let me talk to Carl and try and set up a work session.
Okay,
And then let's talk that through.
sounds good.
Doug, do we usually carry that much cash carry over in the fair every year, 14,000?
I'd have to look of what the
That seems-
previously years have been.
I don't think so. I think somehow during the COVID and not having the fair,
I
that
think
money got
I
left
think
there.
that was the one, yeah, where the year that the fair did not, I guess, have a full-on rodeo. That's potentially
That'd
why.
be a year ago.
I'll have to look.
Hey, any more questions for Doug?
And for me?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Ryan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. As Clerk Miller mentioned, there's a jury trial scheduled for this week. Another one on the calendar coming up in January as well. So things have been really busy on the criminal side. On the civil side, a couple things to report to the board. We've got a couple of items on the agenda today to review. But I have been getting a fair amount of questions on public records, and maybe enough questions that a public records training would be helpful to department heads and public officials. So I'd like to put something on the calendar before too long, maybe after the first of the year, to get folks together and go over just the basics of the public records law. I would remind folks that when they do receive a public records and there's any questions about redactions, I'm always available to help with that. If the decision is made that certain things need to be removed, the law requires that either they consult with the prosecutor's office on those redactions, or there's a statement in that response that they had the opportunity and chose not to. Redactions also require a notice of appeal procedure that be put in there. So there's some formal things that, just a refresher on those requirements, I think might be helpful. We could, if it would be a good use of time, couple that with basics of open meetings laws as well, if you all feel that would be a helpful refresher on just the basic requirements of open meetings. I think for the most part, the department heads and public officials that do that routinely have that down, but those that may not have very many meetings could benefit from that. And if a checklist can be developed as a result, I think that's something that I would like to do or put on my to-do list. I continue to stay busy. That's a good sign. The folks are utilizing the prosecutor's office for things that they have questions about, and I encourage that. So keep doing that. Hope you'll be patient with me, and the turnaround time isn't as fast as I'd like it to be, but I do have a list and I'm working on it. So with that, I'll stand for questions.
We're thankful for you.
Thank you.
So Brian, on the appeal for the redaction, I've never had that happen before. Is that a pretty common? If somebody wants to appeal what you're redacting off of public information?
No, that is not often.
Never heard of that before.
I have been involved in one case in my career where some redactions were challenged, and it's a fairly lengthy process, but nevertheless, it's still critically important that we put those boilerplate paragraphs in those responses, because the law requires us to do that.
So how do they appeal? Would it be us, or they would appeal your decision, or how does that process work?
So if a public records request is denied, the process is it's a petition for judicial review. So we don't really go through an evidentiary trial.
Okay.
It's just a petition that goes to the district court, and they'll review the documents that are being withheld and the law, and make a determination. So
Most of the requests now, have they been on, can you give us are they all the same subject or?
well, I think you get very routine requests for the same information over and over again, but then every now and then you get some unique ones, and it's the unique ones I think that generate some questions. And
So I'm just wondering, is it something that we're not being open about enough, or is it something that is just somebody wanting to be a pain in the butt?
No. I think that the information that's being requested they're legitimate requests. They're not necessarily being
Okay.
vexatious with the county, but as always is the case, you get new attorneys that have maybe a little different approach to certain things, and so it's not my goal to change the normal procedure, but I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page on how to interpret those exemptions.
Not new attorney, it's two attorneys.
It's two attorneys, right?
Hey, any more questions for Mr. Oak?
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day. Sheriff. Oh, come on up, Casey.
Can I interrupt for just a moment?
Hang on just a sec, please.
Let me get this last claim signed.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We were told while you were out of the room.
Can you guys eat that candy?
Sure, walk across the hall.
Oh, she broke it.
Different
Probably
information.
won't let you see me anymore.
Right.
Unless Joanna do that.
Here you go.
All right,
Thanks.
guys.
Okay, now we're ready, Sheriff.
Okay, winter has arrived. Had lots of slide-offs, several accidents, property damage ones, and injury. Had a house fire yesterday out Skunk Creek area. No one was home.
Total loss.
The gate.
I don't have the final on that. I know there was a portion of it collapsed. So
Yeah, that's a great
I'll
way
have
to
to let the assessor's office know.
Is that road in shape to get a fire truck there?
Yeah, it was. Friday, well, this week I'm going to be leaving this afternoon. I have the Sheriff's Association and Jail Administrators meeting, our December conference. So excited about that because it's been a while. We had one in May, but it was still a lot of COVID issues, and so it's gonna be nice to be able to socialize and get some good training and touch bases on things. So, and then Friday, I have a dispatcher graduating from Communications Academy. We've had some interviews last Friday for our opening in the admin office. And then we have a detention officer, certified detention officer that worked for us before and is coming back.
Well, good.
So that'll be on Wednesday. But we have another detention officer that got hired away from us from Latah County. So, and then Corporal Turner attended the snowmobile meeting, and not a whole lot going on, but went over some questions on the new parking arrangements and stuff, and so I think we're good to go on that.
Okay, any more questions for Sheriff? Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Treasurer. Good morning.
Good morning, Commissioners.
The major update from my office is we've selected a new chief deputy that will replace Jody mid-January, which you already heard about. And then we are right in the middle of tax drive right now. So we've collected $6.5 million so far. Tax deadline is next Monday, so we anticipate being very busy for the next 6 business days.
What was our billing that went out? Do you know?
36 million before adjustments in PTR. I'd have to look at what it was after those.
But only half of that is due right now.
Half of that is due. Typically, we receive about 20 million during the month of December, and that's people paying the full amount, and then, some people don't pay at all.
Remind me again what PTR is?
Property tax reduction.
Oh, okay. All the breaks, all the exempts, all that stuff.
Yep.
Okay. And you have an action item.
Yes, so we do have one cancellation on the agenda today. I am accumulating a list for the December 20th meeting as well. Essentially, when we send out the bills, and occasionally we get phone calls from taxpayers who find errors on their tax statements. And so in working with the assessor's office, we investigate the errors and then make these tax cancellation requests. The list next Monday is going to be much more extensive, but this particular one, cancellation request for parcel RPD 000000108572. The parcel is owned by the city of Donley, and they were charged a solid waste fee in error. So we're requesting to remove that solid waste fee.
Supposed to look at our tax bills?
Yes, absolutely. You know what? A lot of problems or a lot of angry phone calls to my office would be circumvented if people looked at them every year. So
So I would entertain a motion then to approve this tax cancellation.
So moved.
22-02.
Second.
Moved and seconded, and this is for a total amount of $110. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Thank you.
I don't have anything else to report. Is there any questions?
Oh, apparently not. Thank you.
All right, thank
Have a
you.
great day. Okay, we're going to move on into department heads. First one up is Annette. Good morning. You guys got to eat more of that candy as you come up.
I already had enough.
You had enough? It's just getting started.
Yeah, I know. We're still halfway steady. The road closure slowed us down a little bit, but people are still coming up here, still building, still trying to pour. There's all kinds of stuff going on. So our Treehouse Ordinance is set for January 3rd. So that'll come in front of you. We're still working on sheds. I have had a few people take care of their issues. No building permits or the sheds turned into houses.
So what are they doing? They coming in and getting their permit, or are they moving out?
No, they're coming in and getting their permit. I got to get an engineer to say they're safe and they're built to code and any pictures, anything like that. Then they get their double permit fee and violation.
And that goes on the tax roll, correct? Okay.
We got some classes coming up at the end of January, and they'll probably be done virtual. I'm not sure yet. That's all we got going on.
Okay. Any questions for Annette? All right, thanks. Have a great day. Skip emailed in that he has nothing to report, and so did Melissa. However, Allison is here to kind of fill in for Melissa today. So, Allison, come on up. Good morning.
Good morning. Unfortunately, a few of our members of our team have been sick, but still a lot of work coming out of our office, so I'll give you a good 4-H update for our programming in Valley County. I've successfully assembled a team for the STEM programming from our STEM grant. It's a lot of money to run,
Yeah.
a lot to do, but I have Rich Stoll, who is a aeronautical pilot and acrobat pilot. So he's got wonderful skill set to help the kids and training. He trained pilots. So he's also good at helping me write the curriculum that we need to kind of translate the language to kids. Then I've hired recently Kurt Youngenberg, and he is an Army drone pilot vet. So that's really exciting to have him on board. And he's a disabled vet, so that he didn't need insurance and the other things that I could offer somebody else that was the only way that they could take the position. So he's really excited to be on our team. We're meeting today to talk about teen programs, and that 19 hours is perfect for him. So that's exciting. Rebecca Lewandowski, who was our AmeriCorps prior, is now full-time between Ada County and Valley County. So she's got benefits, and that's a huge thing to keep a team of folks going right now, and to find those people was a big accomplishment.
So
So,
living up here or down there?
so she'll be doing both. She has a place here to stay, and so she's with me Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays. So we've successfully just finished with our younger audience 4 classes. We have 2 more this week between Cascade and Donnelly elementary schools, and it's going really well. It's really a challenge between the different settings. You don't know if it's transient from kids coming and going to kids that stay there and, can kind of grow with so it's a challenge, the curriculum is, but it's working. So we're going to build with it. We're going to also offer a STEP program, which I think is going to help me out a lot. It's really hard to gather those volunteers and have them commit for a full year. So that'll look like a 6-week program in the spring. I'm hoping that's going to work for everyone, where we can offer 4 different venues: shooting sports, the drone, the STEM program, sewing workshops, and a potential open one for cooking. Shauna Arnold and I have been working on some grant movement where I can get some of the STEM equipment and those needs, and she can remodel that kitchen to be a certified kitchen that we can cook out of and teach youth how to cook. So
Which kitchen are you talking about?
at the Cascade Cultural Center,
Oh, okay.
Art Center,
Okay.
yeah. they're
It wasn't
gonna
down
remodel
at, down at the U of I building, I hope.
No. No, there's enough traffic in there right now that we're good with just the setup that's in there. And it's kind of spreads out our partnerships and what we can do, because obviously that's the only way this program works, is if I can plug into our community. So I was able to purchase 4 sewing machines, brand new ones, at the total of $2,000 for McCall. I have that sewing group doubled in numbers, so that's exciting.
I love that. That's a lost art.
And
That's awesome.
we just picked up and trained a new volunteer, Bev Davenport. She's going to help Carol Coyle, and so now she's got more help. And we'll be doing some clinics in the spring too, just to kind of get that engagement going. They're very excited, which is the momentum you need. So doing a lot of new leader orientations. Again, that's all that background screening. All of our volunteers or people that work with us have all been screened to work with youth and go through a youth development phase, where positive youth development, teaching good life skills and appropriate ways to work with kids. We have a new dog leader, a new dog club, Diane Maisie. I've been busy. And she's really excited. She's going to make sure that kids across the county can do this. She's going to offer a few different options for dog obedience and dog education. And it's kind of tough. I've had more adults call and say, "Are you sure I can't be in 4-H?" And so we're going to work an adult class out. There's just really a need for some of these classes and people to work with their dogs. So we're going to try to figure something out. I'm glad that some of these folks that helped me are retired, because I don't know how this would work. I'm also working on some teen leadership projects Teresa Perry and myself have found ourselves in a position to kind of mentor youth to kind of figure out what to do after high school, and they come back from college, or those that haven't established what they want or what. So we kind of go through a process of figuring out what they're good at, use some strength finders techniques to help them focus on what they're really good at. It's been successful, so we're formalizing a little program we can do with them and work with others in the community to kind of work one-on-one.
You know about the funding mechanism for kids? That because we don't have a college here or a junior college, there's $3,500 for each child that wants to go on to one of the 5 state universities.
No, I had no idea.
We have a lot of money in that pool and we really need to educate. So,
It's exciting. Okay.
yes. And it doesn't have to just be a kid. It can be anyone that has not
Trade or just-
previously
Okay.
gone to college. So a junior college tuition is what it's
And
called.
we actually, a few years back, tried to get McCall College eligible, and they're not. So it's junior colleges, CSI, C of I.
Okay.
uh,
Trades?
WI.
No, just it has to be a college. Okay.
Kind of a trades college,
Okay, which is
community
great.
college.
Could still do this in there. Oh,
But
that's
it'd be great if we could get McCall
They
College.
can do
too.
online classes.
Mhm.
$3,500 will get a kid, you know.
I think you're allowed,
down there.
correct me if I'm wrong, Sherry, 500 a semester?
I
per
can't
person?
remember. Doug, do you remember?
Per semester?
I think it is 500.
That's correct.
500 per
500.
semester. Okay. All right. Well, that goes a long ways. So
Yeah,
these kids, that'll
yeah.
be huge. Let's see, what else can I? Teen counselors are getting trained for the District 4-H camp. I'll be helping with that up in McCall at the Moss Outdoor Science School. And after-school programs are really successful here in Cascade. Donnelly, we're working on how to sustain that and what that'll look like. That's going to be a project like similar to hopefully what happened here in Cascade with that 21st Century grant to kind of get that foundation, partnership, sustainability with the school to kind of have some ownership with kids that need extended help. And we don't have enough people to help them in the needs that they have. So that's ongoing. And then I'm doing club audits right now and a civil rights review with each club. And then Leaders Council tomorrow night, just to give updates. So working on dates for fair with the Fair Board. I need to publish my weigh-in dates and the feed period times here shortly. So we have to get rocking with that. Are there any questions for me?
Does 4-H help with the PLCA and McCall at all?
You know, they
After
have
school.
about $187,000 to fund their after-school program. So they're really in good situation to have their teachers full-time. And so I don't put a lot of energy there. More program-oriented, like we'll do some drone programs up there. We'll engage as a partner to do some work there, but they're really sustainable and very lucky. So,
What was the program you were referring to?
Payette Lakes Community Association has that after-school program.
I
Where
did
do they
once
get
upon a
their
time when they
funding?
were first starting. I did.
Where do they get their funding from?
Where did what? I'm sorry.
Where do they get their funding?
I think they built an endowment. They funded it.
Okay.
Yep. Oh, speaking of endowments, I started one with Colin Chambers years ago. We did a rifle raffle for shooting sports and put those monies in Midway Foundation. And those monies that were about $2,000 or so after the raffle are now $6,100 for shooting sports endowment. So
Nice.
really exciting too.
Well, listen, I had a long discussion here the last few weeks with Mr. Picard on trying to extend broadband into your building, and unfortunately, he's not willing to do anything. So I guess kind of what you get is what you got.
Yeah,
And I don't understand where we went cross wires, but we did. And he's not willing to allow any improvement to that, so.
I think it's kind of a personal thing with the broadband for him. I do. I think it's just something that he's not inclined to really want to do.
Right.
But we've been making it work. I've been
Good.
able to do Zoom meetings from there
Good.
very successfully, both delivering them and bringing them in. So phones are working,
Good.
things that
That's
we
good
need.
to hear.
Well, maybe it's just to check in once in a while with Frontier and just say, what can you do now? What can you do now?
Because
You
I
know,
think
just
they
make
did a
sure.
modem replacement, and I'm not thinking that happened for a really long time. And he said, "Why is this on this phone number too?" And I think there was a lot of confusion on how that got set up, so.
Perfect.
Okay, any more questions for Allison? All right, thank you. Have a great day.
Oh, I dropped these chocolates, so I should probably take them.
Please take them.
Pat, good morning.
Good morning. How's it going?
Good.
Good. We do have some illness that's been going around the courthouse, and so I'm wearing my mask more. So let me do the action item first. As the sheriff mentioned, we do have a dispatcher that we have hired. She comes to us with 5 years of experience. She's already post-certified. And so she won't have to go through post with us. She will just have to go through the training that we do. So to get familiar with Idaho, but other than that, she won't have to. And so with that, she comes with 5 years of experience. So we would like to hire her at the low rate or the minimum rate, the second rate, whatever that is. So the minimum is 19 and the next one up is 2090. And we'd like to hire her in at 2090.
2090?
Mm-hmm.
So that's $1.90 increase.
Yeah,
Okay,
but she comes with 5 years of experience. So that's where she would be anyway. If she had those 5 years with us, she'd be right in that particular range. So
That is good news.
so I'd entertain a motion then to approve that.
I move that we approve the higher dispatch salary beginning at $20.90.
Second that.
Moved in second. Any more discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries.
One thing I would add to that too is Pat and I had talked last week about the process by which we're approving these higher salary rates. And I guess we had done this, I don't remember, like a month and a half ago, and said that we would like to have it come through the commissioner's board. Pat and I were talking about the fact that sometimes that gums up the hiring process and she can't actually extend an offer. So I think when we were talking about it prior, I had said that I would like it to come through the board, and I just, certainly don't want to delay that process. I have the confidence in Pat to make the decision if we need to pay somebody more. I personally don't feel like we need to hear every single one of these. So I just thought I'd bring that up for discussion after I talked to Pat last week about it.
one of the things that we could do to help is that we'd have a parameter. So like for something that would say anything that's over, and then I'll pick a number, the minimum range. So if there's somebody that's between the low or the minimum and the low, that would go forward, okay, but I would need to let you know at my report that this is what we did. So still being very transparent about it with you all. Anything over whatever that sideboard is has to come before you.
Or what percentage basis would that?
A percentage
either one?
basis. We can't do anything today, but just think about it. We can get on the agenda for next week.
Well, we went through this here a while back, and I think the reason why is so that everybody knew that they got a bump in salary because of certain parameters.
Right.
Or other employees didn't know what those parameters were.
Right. And
That's why we made it more public.
And I could still share that this is why we did it the same way.
Has it been slowing up the process while you're waiting for this?
Well, it can be a challenge if you guys don't meet and we want to bring somebody in, let's say that this one wasn't a problem. Normally what we'll do is we'll put like contingent on approval by the commissioners. But if you guys are not working that day, and that we have an opportunity to bring the person in the following week, we have to wait until my next hire time. So it could be, a month or half a month away before that we could bring them in, when we could have brought them in earlier. So it can be a challenge. If they're, especially when we have people that are willing to start right away.
I think that's worth having the authority for you to do that. But just keeping us in the loop that this is what we did because
Right.
that person wanted to start, he or she, next week, and we had to get it going.
Right.
I can't see that happening very often because most people take a week or two to get moved up here, so.
Depending on the circumstance, but there have been circumstances where we've had to put it off.
Sheriff's got her head
I
up.
would like to add something to this particular situation.
Sheriff, come on up to mic, please.
So this person actually applied at 3 different locations and was really pleased that we got a hold of him. let them know that we were, willing to hire them, because that's where they wanted to be, because they have housing up here. So
So that,
without having this in place, we could have lost it.
right. So my thinking is in those situations that you have that authority to go ahead and offer that and then come back and just keeping everybody in the loop.
I agree. Why don't you put it on the agenda, Pat, with whatever your recommendation is? I mean, be it a percentage basis or that low, medium, whatever it is, minimum.
So what we can't do an action item here. It seems
No.
like this should be an action item.
Yeah,
So
yes.
let's put it on the agenda and talk about it next week, and then you guys can think about it, ask me questions individually, and then we can move forward. But it's just sometimes cumbersome. And it's not that I want to hide anything, I don't. And I would let you know what we had done, but it sure would make our process a little smoother. It always feels a little hinky when we have to tell somebody, okay, well, we're going to offer you this, but I can't guarantee it. So it'd be easier if we had parameters and I could guarantee it, and then we can move forward and not have an opportunity to lose them because they're thinking, well, what happens if I don't?
Well, let's put it on next week as an action item to change the policy and how that system works.
Dave, my office is available on Tuesday,
Perfect, thank you.
my little room, so you're welcome to use it.
Look forward to it.
I don't have anything on my agenda that would prevent that.
Feels like a little den back there.
Yeah, going in and out though is problematic.
Yeah, nobody can see him back there, he's hidden. All right, so we do have, as the sheriff mentioned, we do have a detention deputy starting next week. You all had approved his higher wage because he'd been here before. Again, so that was a thing. We talked about dispatch. Still, we did interviews for the recreation planner last week. And Larry, at this point that I know of, has not made a decision. So we're still waiting on that one. And then about the chief deputy for the treasurer's office. Still have, the recruiting has slowed down a lot. When the ads expire on December 31st, I'm going to let them expire, and then I'm going to really repost everything, hit it hard, put it in the paper, try to get some more people interested. People just don't look during the holidays. It's kind of they're out there, but if somebody is looking, it's usually after the 1st. There is a job fair at Boise State in February. I need to look into a little more, but I'll probably get us a little booth. It's $250 because we're a public agency, but that will help us get our name out to Boise State students and talk about what we have to offer here. And again, just trying to bring the future to Valley County as best we can. So, was talking to somebody, and I do not remember who it was, but it was an applicant from out of town. And they may need housing if they were chosen. So another thing that we need to think about, and I know you all are working on that. So just to put that, give you a little more pressure, Sherry, not that you don't have any more on there, but I've done my part. And then the last the last thing is I am hoping to take the afternoon of Wednesday, the 22nd off. So after strategic planning and leaving about noon if I can make it work. So I think that's all I have.
You have strategic planning on the 22nd?
Uh-huh. That not going to work?
Not for me, no. Got granddaughters all that week. I'm hoping we're going to get out of here early on Monday.
Well, I can
we do it after the holidays?
check with the rest of the team. We did look at that last time when we met. So it seemed like a good time to meet. And you can.
Did Jeremy hire his IT person? No? Okay.
We had, one of them backed out. One of them, I asked him to check on housing because, well, first off, he said, I would prefer being in Boise, which was, that was a big red flag. And then I said, well, maybe, just take some time and research housing up here and make sure that it's going to work. And if you still want to do an interview after you research, let me know. I never heard a word.
Okay.
So I don't think he really wanted to be here anyway. We did have an internal candidate. We interviewed that person. He is feeling like, let's just wait. We had another person back out because it's taking so long. So that's another one that I'll repost in January and probably push to move a little faster on him. Other questions?
Pat, I think we're probably, and we need to pull Jeremy in on this as well down the road, but we're probably looking at maybe another IT position just for the sheriff and jail.
Yeah.
I really think they need kind of their own person, but let's have a get together in January with Jeremy and try and figure all this out.
And that would probably be part of the budget process. So yeah, that's a good idea.
I think they have too much over there for.
I think
It's
IT
been
just has too
pain.
much on their plates right now. It's just hard with
It
3
is.
people.
It is.
So if I can help him in any way, get that fourth person hired.
Okay, any more questions for Pat? I guess not.
All right.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Yep. Thank you.
Commissioners, Mr. Chairman, you still need to take a vote on the salary increase.
Oh, didn't we vote it?
You did not.
We had the motion in a second though.
That's correct.
So all in favor of the salary increase for the dispatch, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. Sorry about that. Thanks, Doug. Jeremy did send in an email this morning that he's kind of caught up and he had to fix a snow blower that's not working today, so he's snowed in. So we'll move on down to Cinda.
Good morning. So our agendas are quite large. We approved 8 subdivisions last Thursday. A couple of them are from Tamarack, a couple of them are, within the boundaries of Jug Mountain, a couple of one-lotters. I have 3 new applications for the January hearing. So subdivisions are starting to perk up pace, so we're getting some more lots.
Anything that's affordable at all? Anything that you perceive to be affordable?
Not really. They're all market driven. Tamarack, of course not. Jug Mountain, of course not. David Carey did a 1 lot for somebody so that they could afford some property out of a large inholding of his. But yes, I have not received any of those. One of the ones for January, it's a resubmittal of the original Red Ridge Blackhawk.
So Cinda, are you thinking down the road of maybe 2 meetings a month for P and Z, or
Well, we're doing that now,
it's kind of,
so far. I mean, between that and work sessions,
how late are your meetings going
well, we don't start any new applications after 10.
after 10?
They're reasonable.
Well, let us know if that gets to be a challenge, because I think they're gonna get busier and busier. And we may have to think about approaching that differently. There's some counties that pay their P and Z folks those extra.
I don't know that you can, Commissioner. I just don't know that you can. I think state statute prohibits that.
Really?
You pay them mileage and you can
No,
pay them per
reimburse
diem.
costs, yeah.
And I
Yeah,
have put
was
that
it?
out to other people, and I think there was one county that pays theirs like $25 or something. It's
Oh.
not something you pay for. It's a volunteer position.
Could they start earlier in the day? Would that help as well?
Well,
I know some of them probably work
they
full-time.
work.
I don't know the
I used to
makeup.
go until 2 a.m. when I
And
was
so did
on
we.
P and Z, so I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
there's,
When we were busy, we went really late. And because of that, we changed our bylaws to state that we couldn't start anything after 10 p.m.
so are you seeing yet people where you have to say, I can't get you on the schedule for 3 months?
Not yet, no.
So I think that's when we really have to start looking at that, but.
I'll
and
manage
also,
it. It's-
We
it's-
are looking at a process change too, which is gonna change all of this too.
Are
We
we?
start if we start zoning anything, that changes the way that your department functions.
Okay.
Process
Yeah,
itself.
Well, keep us in
Yeah,
the
with
loop.
zoning, you don't necessarily have to have hearings. Everything's just pre-approved.
No, but what I don't want to do is burn them up.
we're
Mhm.
looking at, you know, we have interviews this afternoon. I don't think any of them are getting burnt out.
Good.
Actually, the ones I have are pretty excited about what they're doing. So, yeah, there isn't an issue at this point. I'm just
Okay.
trying to let you know that we've been busy.
Yeah, you have
And
been.
everything we do at night, you know,
Until Lori,
reflects on staff work.
Mhm. And I appreciate the minutes and what you guys have done. I read those every week, so you continue to send those. It's kind of nice to know what's coming down the road.
Great. Yeah, we'll send out the minutes and the agendas. So, I have an interesting violation. We try to make it well-known that if you have solar panels that are not located on your structure, then you need a conditional use permit. So someone up off Finn Church has put in huge solar panels within the setback, right up against the county road. So we're chasing them. Issued a lot of short-term rental permits. We'll give you our stats at the end of the year. You'll see the quantity of job we have been doing. So, do you have anything for me?
Don't think so. We all good? Thank you.
Okay.
Larry, good morning.
Morning.
Happy winter.
Oh, my. Fun time in the old corral right now.
Got a new groomer, got snow. What else did you need for Christmas this year?
Oh, it's base. And we got 1 inch of base with 18 inches of powder on top.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's,
after today's temperatures, it'll be a good base.
I think so too. Ron actually groomed up to, or track packed up to Little Four Corners yesterday, and it went really well. So we're starting out. We've got guys going out tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got a lot of training going on. Not a lot of new guys, fortunately. We had the winter rec meeting earlier, and that was it's kind of interesting. Listen, everybody wants more roads, more trails, more people, more time, more equipment. Other than that, everything's the same. At a United Payette meeting, I think we're getting closer and closer to tying something up there. We got another meeting Wednesday, which I have to do on the road. Got our new groomer unloaded, and it's definitely some differences. The tiller's a lot different. It's wider, which is going to give us a challenge on a couple of our trails, but it'll work out just fine. Like I said, we're in the middle of a lot of training. We're trying to stay up on parking lots, which is not easy. And it's funny all weekend, because weekends are going to be our educational thing where we're talking to people about the new rules and stuff. I've only had one person out of probably 30 complain. Everybody's excited that you guys actually put the rules into place and they're enforceable, which was nice. And the one person that complained is the guy I knew would complain.
Is he a commercial guy or a private guy?
No, he's a guy that lives on Warren Wagon Road and just
Okay.
needs a place to store his trailer.
His trailer, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, Larry, what's the status on that, the committee selection or those committee bylaws that we were working on for the
That
UP?
They're working down that road now. We're finishing up. The biggest part was trying to make the decision on what property we really wanted, because it changes the cost level so much, and some stuff we were asking for, we don't need. It isn't anything that we can really affect. And it had a real high lease or permitting cost. So now we pulled all that out, and it's gotten a lot more reasonable. Once that's all done, I think we'll make that decision Wednesday, and after that, the rest of it will start up.
No, I was talking about the committee selection as far as, I had sent you some
Yeah.
questions about the committee itself.
Right.
And sort of what the purpose of that committee was going to end up being.
Advisory.
But hopefully with more of a recreational bent than, originally when I was reading through that document that you sent, it sounded like
Yeah.
it was going to be very focused on conservation without as much input as far as the recreation goes. There was like one line that was talking about the recreational opportunities.
Yeah, I'm not worried too much about it. I think everybody's got their mind set on how we're going to handle this and get going in it. And like, it's a 2-year permit.
Mhm.
And I have a feeling things will change dramatically the 3rd year. So
Were we interested in, or were they interested, did they express interest in having this be broader than just the IDL lands and lease that we're talking about?
I have not heard that.
Okay, that would be a great thing to bring up because we'd really like to be able to take advantage of that group to help us with some of the other topics.
Our strategic plan.
Huh?
For our strategic plan.
Yeah.
We talked about putting together a committee or.
Yeah, full recreation advisory board, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'll probably have that discussion, not this Wednesday, but probably the next one after that. And I did talk to him about coming in and letting you guys know where they are. And everybody was out of town today. Jeff was out. Jeff was actually in, if I remember right, North Carolina or someplace like that. So in a little bit of a flight.
Larry, you were talking about training going on. Did you send us the training checklist that you're using?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, a
I
couple
can't
times.
remember. Okay.
Yeah.
I will look at it.
We're plowing a lot of parking lots, a lot of signs, a lot of safety signs. We've got 15 entry ports into the county and multiple counties, actually. We're trying to get as much safety signs up this year as we can. Of course, we're issuing trailer permits and parking permits and all that stuff. That's all starting today since we finally got them. The guy that made them for us, I picked up the permits Saturday, actually, in here. Our day use tags will be ready. The ones with seasonal tags that you hang on the mirrors, those will be ready probably Wednesday.
Are those the ones for the guys that are living up in CSASH and Warren, or
No,
you were going to
those-
tag their vehicles too, weren't you?
Those guys get a trailer tag for $150. They can leave one trailer as long as it is their primary residence. And we've had some discussions what a primary residence is, but we're being pretty tight about it.
So you actually have the tags to put
I
on
actually
their
have the
trailers?
tags. They're waterproof tags that stick on the back of the trailer so the sheriff can see it. Kevin and I have been talking a lot about this too.
Perfect.
So Larry, how many permanent residents are up there? It can't be that many.
So talking to Carol, we're thinking we're gonna have 5 trailers.
Okay.
And I talked to Dr. Harris quite a bit. He has 4 different cars he wants left in there for his employees, and I think we can work that out. I've talked a lot about the possibility of having somebody from search and rescue have the permission to issue citations to try to take the pressure off the sheriff's office. And I haven't had this discussion. A little bit with Kevin last Thursday. I did check, and it's a total cost. So they have what mini post. It's just so you can issue a citation, and it's $200 per person, approximately, and 2 days and 1 night. And that's just we can have that discussion
2
later.
days and 1 night of training?
Yes.
Don't they have to be certified to issue a citation?
That is what Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation does for their rangers. It's just a 2-day, 1 night thing.
So you're working with the sheriff and all that on this?
I'm working
kind
with
of-
Kevin on it. He's taking that. He's got a lot done already.
That's
He's
just
working with
important.
me on identifying. We had one trailer, I think I mentioned to you, a 3-axle trailer. The guy, because what I was doing is checking the license plate, and we'd find out who owned the trailer and give them a call and have a good conversation. Well, all of a sudden this trailer shows up. They pulled the license plate off of it and put diamond plate over over where the VIN number was, so we couldn't find it. And we put the word out, and Kevin says, next Tuesday, we'll get her towed. And all of a sudden it disappeared. So just a matter of getting the word out. Anyway, it's going to be busy. Next 3-4 weeks are going to be incredibly busy.
And I think we're supposed to get a lot more snow by the end of the week.
A lot more snow. My fear is, and I think Commissioner Bingham can tell you, the last time I saw this happen, we had a lot of these slides that were where the snow would come up and take the dirt off with it. So you'd just be bare dirt underneath it. And there's quite a few warnings I saw in the Sawtooth. There's a warning up right now just because there isn't a base. I watched some guys take off out of the parking lot the other day, and every time they hit their throttle, all I saw was snow and then dirt. So people just don't learn, I guess.
Larry, I
you
don't
got-
have a training checklist.
Huh?
I don't have a training checklist.
I can send you another one. Yeah.
You sent us some procedures. There was nothing within that
I
that was a
sent
training.
a training checklist probably 4 months ago. I'll send you another one right as soon as I get out of here.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, Ron, do you have anything you want to add, since we're talking recreation? Sure.
I don't need, no, we just, I just wondered if you guys had got any correspondence last night. Larry got a phone call and from our friend down at No Business, the reason I dropped in. And I just wanted to assure you that we are following the policy of the agreement that we have on that road agreement. We're trying to do the best we can, but until we get enough snow to get that bypass open, we can't run it. And it hasn't been finished. The obligation of the agreement was for that individual to do most of the labor. There's been a lot of labor done by others and some by him. But there are still large boulders and there's some stumps in that off-road portion of that bypass that we need about 2.5 feet to cover up and protect the equipment. So,
I have not gotten anything from.
well, Larry got some correspondence, so.
Read what you got last year. It'll be the same this year.
Things this year.
But I just wanted to assure you we're following our portion of it.
Thank you. We appreciate that. And did we sign that new agreement for this year, Larry?
That would be with the road department, and I have not asked Jeff if he signed it yet.
I don't think we have, so you might want to run that one down.
I will do it.
You guys remember?
I don't remember signing
Or
it.
anything?
Yeah, let's run that one down. Okay? All right, thanks everybody for coming in. Can we go ahead and do buildings and grounds since it's not an action item?
You have anything you have somebody else here?
Oh, it's
I don't even know who
Mr.
in the heck that
Crickshank.
was.
How are you guys?
Mustache was
Good.
covered
Looking at
up.
Come on
you
up.
going,
Here.
Is this a notice of tort?
How is everybody?
Good to see you, man.
I'm looking at you going, I know him. I just can't.
I knew when I was sitting back there, I was going.
Happy holidays.
They don't know who you are.